So Fresno State went to the islands and they were able to come out with a victory for the last time in a game that easily could have gone away from them. All right. Um, I know should be happy about the win, and I'm not gonna complain about it particularly. But if the Bulldogs play this type of game again with this type of offensive performance from the passing game, they will lose. All right. It's very similar to what we saw in 2013 with the defense of the Bulldogs. We knew that eventually it was going to get them. All right? No matter how good the offense was. And it did get them on Black Friday against San Jose State. Hawaii was not afraid of our passing game. All right? And that, I know people are saying that E.J. Warner made some great throws and decision making, and okay, he did. He was 22 for 29 with a touchdown to Richie Anderson. But I think Hawaii was perfectly fine with him having those numbers. I think that they were like, we don't care if E.J. Warner makes some throws. We don't care if he's that accurate. We don't care. We're going to go out of our way to stop the running game of Fresno State. That is their main offensive weapon. And in fairness to them, their plan nearly worked. Could have easily worked. If not for the Bulldogs having a pick six and getting, even that, they still could have lost because of Dylan Lynch's free missed field goals. I mean, the Hawaii quarterback, he threw for 215 yards, was 27 out of 46 with a touchdown and 3 picks. And even then, the Bulldogs, won the turnover battle. We also got a fumble, and we only won by 2 points. And that's because Hawaii knew that if we could stop the Fresno State running game, the offense won't do much. And they were right. Warner was the leading rusher for 8 yards. I know Donaldson had a touchdown from earlier, but he didn't really do much. None of them did. I mean, the Fresno State offensive line got their butt kicked all night long, really. Now in fairness, neither team could really run. Hawaii had 89, Bulldogs had 64. Bulldogs actually had 15 more passing yards than Hawaii. But outside of that, this is the type of game that Hawaii wanted to play in a lot of ways. I mean, I know I said they wanted to do run and shoot, and they were right, but I'm talking from a stopping on defense as well. Sticking to their defense, right? Their plan. We did not force them out of that at all. And I'm going to give all love and credit to our defense. They won this football game. All right? They should get all the flowers. Thunderbird's pick six, in my mind, was the play of the game. I know people want to talk about return by Luke, but I just look at this game and go, Hawaii isn't that good of a team into the Mountain West. All the other teams in our league from now on are going to do what they did. Nevada, the Wolfpack, who the Bulldogs face in a couple weeks, are going to try and do what Hawaii did defensively, and they're capable of it. Talent-wise, you got to think that the Wolfpack defensive line is as good as Hawaii's. Never mind the likes of San Diego State, which put a whooping on Cal, 34-0, or Boise, or Utah State. Those are 3 teams in my top of my head which could stop our running game, or even Wyoming. I mean, the only team that I can see right now, Fresno State probably could have not much issue right now, is Colorado State, because they even benched their quarterback. But that's going to be a short week on a Friday going to their place, so you never know. The offense has to develop a passing game that defenses respect. And I'm not asking Warner to be Derek Carr or Jake Hayner. I'm not asking that. I'm asking him to be Marcus Mariota, where we have a passing game that is respected enough for teams to bring their safety back. And Warner's going to be our starting quarterback. That's not going to change bar injury, all right? He's going to be the starter. But I keep saying it. I would like them to develop a package with Cochran or Mandel or whoever as a different quarterback, if only to give the opposing defense something else they have to prepare for. I'd like to see that after the bye week. At some point, a package come in. Maybe something like Joshua Woods had last year with the Fresno State team. It was something else, an extra something where the other team had to prep for. All right? That's all I'm asking for right now. All right? I'm feeling pretty good about our defense. I think they stack well against anybody else in Mountain West who was on our schedule. We're not going to face Air Force this year in their triple option. I don't know about UNLV. They're a paper tiger, but I'll get to the standings in a moment. But I really don't feel any different about this offensive pass game than I did the week before. I feel better about our defense. They were outstanding. They did not let Hawaii get away from them. They made great tackles in the secondary. I feel much better about how they performed against that offense. Because they only gave up like what? Well, Hawaii scored like, I don't know. Let's see, 9 points off of our offense from it was a fumble return for a touchdown and a safety. So outside of that, Hawaii scored 12 points on that offense and on island. Props to them, That's an explosive type offense that the Bulldogs play. They're not going to face a tougher, challenging league. So you got to feel good about them. Now, let me get to the standings real quick because we have had some teams play in the conference against conference matchups. I mentioned Air Force, their 0-2 conference. They lost to Utah State and Boise State. They're actually going to play Hawaii this upcoming weekend. Fresno State has a bye. I don't think the Falcons are going to be a factor right now. When you're 0-2 to home in a conference, you're not going to come back from that. Hawaii, of course, lost to us. Fresno State is 1-0. And tied with Utah State, who defeated Air Force, and Boise State, who defeated... they beat Air Force too. So right now, it's Boise, Utah State, and Fresno. Each will win a conference in the top 3. And those probably are going to be 3 out of the top 4 teams in the league this year. But the Bulldogs face those 2. You got to be able to score them. That's my point. What I mean, you have to score more, or at least have a passing game that can be a threat. Not worried about that at all. In the past, I keep saying it because it's the truth, right? The leading reception for Fresno State was Beecham. He had, and that was only because he had that one really long touchdown run, right? The teams aren't afraid of our passing game. They're not worried about it. They don't care if Warner is really accurate. They don't care if he's going to throw for 200 plus yards and make some throws on third downs occasionally. They don't care. And we have to make them care. Hopefully we see that coming out of the bye week. Got a lot to work on. This is a really good time. We got a lot of injuries. We lost one man already to medical retirement. Who was that? Let me just check that real quick. I know he was a starter. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Well, let me get to it. Let me just put it this way. The offensive line did get their butt kicked in the Hawaiian Islands. And that was something that really just... you can't let that happen to you. I know Hawaii and the Islands stick. Yeah, it was Campbell McHaig. He had this 4th injury in his career. He just decided to retire. And we lost our freshman, Brandon, but he looked like he'll be back. This is a really good time for our linemen to work on stuff. I don't think we have as much depth. That's the position you have to worry about in an offense like this. So if we run the ball a lot, you need offensive lineman depth. So this is a really good time for a bye week. They should beat Nevada when the time comes next week, but they'll be desperate. They'll be seeing the season start off after the start of 1-3 as a fresh start. So gotta be ready for them, and we have to be able to pass the ball effectively at the very least. All right. See what happens in the bye week. But we're 1-0, 4-1 to start the year. All Bulldog fans would take that if you told them that would be the case. See what happens. Hopefully we rest up this week. But for now, got the win. Go Dogs.